Could you tell us your name, please?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Marushka Mikhailovna Tsirodnikova.
And where do you live?
I live in Ventnor, close to the town centre.
Could you give us some background information about who you are and the life you've led and how you came to be on the Isle of Wight?
Yes, I will summarize because it's a long way. I was born in French-speaking Belgium, and I was born using, but we discovered step by step, with a different way to use my neuronal connection compared to most of other kids and my brother and sister. I was different. And at the beginning, it was, for my parents, it was a little bit funny. But when I grew up, it became a problem for them and for the teachers, of course, and for me, also for me. And I observed that, so I was punished if I told my parents my feelings, what I saw, and so on. So I try slowly to say nothing, not to share. But I've started healing animals and pets when I was 8 years old, without any teacher, without knowing how to do. I just put my hands, and I had visions, and I saw things, and I was guided, not by a human being, but I was guided to do this or this or this. So I did it without asking me any question. But it was really difficult for me to have a normal life, and I met a lot of psychotherapists, psychiatrists, and so on. A lot of doctors wanted I take medication. I always refused. And this, I'm also proud about it because I also respected myself. I left my family when I was 19. And because my parents and my teachers told me I was not normal, I say, okay, they are right, because they are adults, they know I'm not normal. So I believe them. And I try to have a normal life, as everybody. So I thought to myself, yeah, I need to have a big car, to be a big house. I need a husband. I need to have kids. And all of those things never resonated in me. Never. But I accepted to do it. I played a game. Then I found a job. And because I was born in Belgium, when I left my family at 19, I went to Brussels to live on my own. I found a job, and 5 years later, I moved to Geneva in Switzerland. I married, but no kids. And I confess I'm proud of it. I love kids, but accepting to have no kids was for me the proof of respect myself, because I felt I'm not made to be a mom. So I have accepted to have a good job, very well paid in Geneva. I had a big 4-wheel drive, a big car, and I had a husband during 20 years. But I felt it was not me. But this life gave me the opportunity to rescue a lot of animals and pets. And animals, honestly, they are my family. So I saved a lot of horses, dogs, cats, goats, and sheep, and a lot of different animals. And I healed them because I had better results with healing instead of paying a vet, honestly. So, and one day I've lost one being, and I still feel a lot of emotions. We had a very special relations. It was a dog, but I consider him as my son, and it was really, really, really hard. And when he passed away, I told myself, okay, I stopped and I was looking at my life. I said, this is nonsense. I'm not happy. I earn a lot of money. I have a big house. I've got an husband, but I'm not happy. And there is nonsense. So I left my job. I left my husband. I left my money. I left everything. I just took my babies with me, my animals with me, and I went around more than 600 kilometers far from there, in an abandoned house. It was just mad, but there I was happy, and I was 31, and I said to myself, okay, I accept to be the healer I am. And finally, so I divorced. My husband was not happy, but he had no choice. It was really, and he realized, so he respected it. And so after the divorce, it took me a long time again, because without job, I was homeless, and all my animals died. So this is life. And finally, I found another job, and I became a carer for elderly people with a lot of disease. And in the same time, I have accepted to, because my ex-husband supported me a little bit, and I accepted to officially to be a healer, a shaman. And then I welcome people in individual consultation for cares and healings. And one day it was too much, because my ex-husband wanted to come back to me, and I say no. And once again, I left everything, and I went in the rainforest in Amazonia, in Ecuador, to meet a shaman, because I was my health was in very, very bad condition, because I continue to don't. So even if I had accepted to respect me, I did it, but not. I was still not free completely. I was in a really bad condition. So I lived in the Indians in the rainforest during 1 month, and I wrote a book about it in French, sorry. And after, when I came back, I said, okay, now I really have to accept myself and to live my life. And I had only 2 cats, and I took my cats and I went again. And after a few weeks, I met my partner, Angus. When I met him, I said, oh no, I want to stay alone. I'm happy alone, I don't want. But he won. I recognized him, and he was in danger. He was condemned by the doctors because of his health conditions. And I said, okay, probably this is my destiny. I'm ready to do it. And it was 8 years ago. And one day I told him, let's go on the Isle of Wight.
Apologies. At this point the sun came out and overexposed the video recording, so the picture gets a little bright at times.
And he told me why, where it is. And I just follow my heart. And a few times in my life, when I follow my heart, it was good. And so here we are since 3 years now.
What makes you a shaman?
The way I use my neuronal connection. So I know a shaman, to be a shaman is a very in word today, and it's used and abused by a lot of people. I don't blame them, but I'm just disappointed because they don't understand what it means. A French woman years ago, she discovered she was a shaman. She discovered it in Siberia, where I come from. And because in France and in Europe they were not ready to understand, she went to Canada and she met a lot of neuroscientists, and they made different measures on her brain when she is in trance, for example. And they discovered that a shaman in trance activates in his or her brain different neuronal paths. Those neuronal paths are very close to the same neuronal path people activate when they have schizophrenia, when they are depressed, when they are borderline. And those three diagnoses, doctors put them on me when I was younger, and this is the reason they wanted I take medication. The difference between a shaman and somebody with a mental disease or mental illness, is that the shaman always keep control of what happens. So it exists different way to be in trance, but I try to explain people I am naturally always in trance, always. Actually, I've got another job because I need to earn money, and my boss often tell me, "Where are you? You're not with us." But in the same time, I hear everything. So I am in different dimensions in the same time. How I do it, I have no idea. I'm still unable to explain it, but I just do it because this is my nature. So I can feel situations, I can feel people, I can do the job in the same time, I can deal with the spirit in the same time. For me, it's just natural. So this is what to be a shaman. This is not, to be a shaman is not an illusion. A lot of people, they think, they dream to be a shaman. But to be a shaman, you're not in your head when you're a shaman. You are very, very good grounded. It's really important. You're here in the matter, even if your mind, your spirit is everywhere, but you are very grounded. People say, you've got the power to change your life. Yes, and it's true, but it's not easy. It takes time, it takes a lot of work, a deep work inside. You are not able, and even me, we are not able to change our life just after a workshop of shamanism, for example. You will learn some things, your mind will be full of new information, and then you will create an illusion. Yes, I am a shaman because I drum, I am a shaman because I like nature, I'm a shaman because I like to talk to my pet. It's deeper than this. Honestly, it's deeper.
Could you tell us about the shamanic services that you offer? Is it mostly connected with healing, or is there a wider range of services that you can provide to people?
Being a shaman is taking into account absolutely everything. Healing is a part, yes, but not only. We also practice divination or mediumship. This is, people, they ask me, do you practice mediumship? Yes, because this is just normal. And a big part of being a shaman, and I have to tell it because A lot of people, they say, yeah, a shaman protect life. Yes, but what do we call life? This is a big question. For shaman, death doesn't exist. And a big part of the shaman job is to support people when they are ready for the big journey, the biggest journey of death. So I practiced when I was in France. I'm waiting because I'm still French, so I need a time being living in the UK before I can practice with vulnerable people. Sorry for my accent and my pronunciation, but this is a part I refused for a long time because I was emotionally touched. But now I have accepted, and just to support people who are ready to leave this incarnation, and also to support their family. And this is a big part. And there's also a teaching part of being a shaman, just to teach people how to do. But I don't like to teach. The reason is because in the West, people, and I've got a French lady, she's contacted me online, and she told me, yeah, please Mariska, teach me how to be a shaman. And I'm not able to choose who is a shaman. This is not me. This is not my job. But I can teach people not to be a shaman, but to practice shamanism, for example. And if they are shaman, it will be revealed to them, but not from me. But in West, people think being taught, it means, oh, I go to school and I've got the first level, then the second one. This is not shamanism. Shamanism is experience. I'm happy to share with people and to chat, blah, 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 but it's only chatting. And in shamanism, it's nonsense. Shamanism is experience. Okay, let's go in nature and then be yourself with the nature in some situation. Then you will see the difference. If I tell you the fire burned, okay, you know it in your mind, but do the experience. And I don't need to tell you. It's completely different. So in shamanism, experience is the main teacher, and nature is a teacher. A wild animal is a teacher. Every kind of spirit is a teacher, better than a human being. A lot of people, they are attracted by shamanism, but they think it's just sparkling unicorns and drumming around the fire with friends. And no. Shamanism, if you want to practice on a serious way, it means you have to face your darkness. You have to face your shadows. It's not just love and light. A lot of people, they talk about love and light, but what does it mean? So light is an illusion. Everything comes from the dark, and everything will go back to the dark. But the dark is not negative. This is the problem. A lot of people, they say light is okay, dark is not. Okay, but the day is okay and the night is not? The masculine is okay, the feminine is not? It creates me a trouble. No, we don't. We observe in shamanism and we accept it exists positive energies and negative energies. But positive are not good and negative are not evil. They are just negative. Like the light and the darkness.
Are there any tools or instruments that you use that we could have a look at?
Yeah, honestly, being a shaman, we don't need anything because the main tool is ourselves and everything is in. But um, being a shaman is to be able to adapt. So if I go in the rainforest, I didn't have my drum with me, so I I use the river, I use the stones, I use the trees. Everything could be a tool. But here I've got drums, a main one which is a healing drum, and the other one I use it essentially for rituals. I also have a rattles, and of course, I wear in ceremonies. I wear a costume and a hat. Um, there's a lot of meanings about them. They protect the shaman because we are in touch with a lot of spirits. But as I explained you before, I am always naturally connected. So I've learned to protect myself. This is the first step, and the second step is I wear a lot of tattoos, and they are all tattoos of protection. So they are in my skin with me always. But the costume and the hat as another function, really important, is to close the shaman from the outside environment, just to be a channel. And so not only a protection, but being a channel. Because in Siberian shamanism, we say to people who want to learn shamanism, we say them, you are open-minded and it's wonderful, but it's not enough. You need to have an open body. Because when I practice healing, and when we practice healing, we need to take the disease, we need to take everything from the people, we digest it, and this is how we know what to do, how to heal it, because we need to take it. It's a kind of fusion, but only when we practice a ritual. And so the costume and the hat help. Okay, we take it, but we don't keep it. When a shaman wears the costume and the hat, is not a human being anymore. Is nothing, just a channel. The shaman is an object. When I am in trance with the drum, I am the instrument and the drum is the master. The drum and the beater. And it's really important because there is no ego anymore. So the emotions and the mind are on the side, and we are just an instrument, just a channel. And it's honestly, I really do love this word. It's so comfortable, honestly. No ego anymore. It's just wow.
Okay.
So these are my tools.
Thank you. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about your drums?
Yes, of course. So
because there's a story attached to the big
yes.
one. I don't know if there's a story.
Yeah.
Attached to
So briefly, the first one is the ritual one, and I like to call it my 4-season drum because this is not a real skin. But it's so useful because you can use it any kind of weather, even if it rains. So I made the deco myself, and I've got some name from spirits who support me. There are masters from other dimensions, and they are teachers. So this is for the rituals, my 4-season drum. And this is the healing drum. That one comes from Siberia. It was crafted in Siberia. What is important to know is that in Siberian shamanism, a shaman never made craft his or her drum. herself or himself. Never. In Siberia, the community crafts the drum for the shaman, and then when the shaman appears in the tribe, the community offers the drum to the shaman. And if it's really important, it's not easy to, and it's not so funny to be in a shaman. And if the shaman doesn't do the job on a good way, the community take back the drum, and the shaman must leave the tribe and live on his own. It's really important to know. So that one was made in Siberia. It resonates when I talk. The first time, it was not this skin. And when the drum and I met, I started to work with the drum, because this is a healing drum, and I use it for me because I needed to be healed, and I still need to be healed. And one day I started to, I use it for other people also, and it was okay, and it was okay, and it was okay. And one day I had a really bad idea to use it to teach neo-shamanism, which is not shamanism. I organized a weekend of workshop, and neo-shamanism could be useful, but this is not what I have to teach. And 5 minutes I've started. Can't believe me. It was, the drum cracked. The skin cracked in the middle. And the drum was in my back, and I felt it, and I was, wow, I was hurted. So I have understood the lesson, and I say, okay, I don't have to teach neo-shamanism. This is not for me. Then I was waiting for a few years, waiting to be called by another skin. And one day, this skin called me. It is a reindeer skin from a female. And I started to install it. And it was just a nightmare. I was so stressed, and the results were so bad. And I knew, I'm a little bit rebel, and I knew the shaman cannot do the drum, cannot craft the drum. And I knew it, but I insisted a little bit. It was my ego. And finally I abandoned, and I have accepted, okay, I'm a shaman, I have no right to do it, this is not my job. And then I met a man, and this man was Angus, my partner, and he accepted to do it for me, and he made it very well. And after the spirits sent me all the drawings, and I told them, I cannot do this. I'm the shaman, I cannot. And they say, do this. Okay, so I did it. And I also made deco myself, always guided by the spirits, by the ancestors, telling me what to do. And I always ask them, are you sure? Because I'm the shaman, I have no right to do it. They say, it's okay, the skin is in. You didn't install the skin yourself, it's okay now. Okay. So, and this is a healing drum, it means at any time. So I practice for individual sessions, and collective. And I've got 2 beaters, and I wear my costume and my hat. And then when the beat goes on the wall, for example, on the horse, on the birds, on the moon, it means something. And then I receive the messages or visions, or both, depending. And I also, I'm not a singer, I'm not a musician, so it's important to telling people to shamanize is not playing an instrument, it's not the same. And I sing sometimes, so the spirits use my voice and my body, but I'm honestly unable to repeat because I just do it when I'm in trance. And so there are bells, because a lot of metal, we use a lot of metal in shamanism, a lot of bells, and this is the spirit of the drum. And the bells have also a different function to call spirits and to scare some. So depending of the spirits we have. And a drum is really alive, so I can't say it about it. This is a drum, this is another spirit, and it's a very specific. What is also important is that this is a sacred instrument, and at any time I use it, it uses me, so say it, but it uses me, and nobody can touch it, and I'm very take care. I know a lot of people are not able to understand, because in the New Age movement they say we are not owner of anything and everybody can share, and I don't come from the New Age movement. I am a tradition guardian. It's this in the same time than being a shaman, and it's important to recognize what is sacred. So for me, everything is sacred. Everything must be respected, of course. I consider this drum is alive. A table is alive, but we can't see it. But I have a great respect for everything. And I think it's a part of the teaching I have to teach to people. It's a question of respect, and I think we lost a lot of respect about life.
I know you have neighbours close by, but would you be able to tap it very lightly just so that we can hear the tone of the drum?
I've got 2 beaters, sorry, I show you my bag. I've got 2 beaters, and that one, the big one, we call it hoba, the big one, and it's a very deep sound. Often people prefer that one because it's deep and it's soft in the same time. So you can hear the sounds is different. The other one, I do love it, because that one I use it for strong trance, and this is the one I use for healing. And it continues to resonate. And you observe the rhythm is the difference. When you have a speed rhythm, the trance is stronger and deeper. And I know a lot of people, they learn to the heartbeat they love. I don't like it definitely because it's boring for me, and so trance is a natural rule for me, a natural condition for me, and and I do love to create stronger trance than the trance I live every day at any time.
Is shamanism the main focus of your life, or do you have other interests or projects that you're working on at the moment?
Good question. Shaman is in my life. Practicing shamanism is not only I take my drum, I go in the woods once a week. It's a way of life. It's a philosophy. I've got a specific way to feed myself. I refused for years and years because I do love junk food, the taste. But my body always sent me alert and told me, no, 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 this is not the right way for you. But I insisted because I'm a little bit stupid. But and no, I had no choice.
Could you tell us about any supernatural experiences that you've had with things like ghosts, UFOs, or anything similar?
So UFOs, I don't remember, but I think I never. But ghosts, what people call ghosts, yeah, they are just, I call them spirits, and they are just part of my life, of my everyday life. So I often have experience with them. I also, as a shaman, I also practice purification of places and blessings in haunted businesses or haunted houses and so on. I had so many experience. I don't know if you want I talk about...
If you could pick one.
One, okay. It was 20, maybe 25 years ago, and I live in France, and at this moment I still was married, and my husband and I, we moved to a new home in a village, lovely home. Very simple home. It was like a rectangle, a long rectangle, with a stair, and I explain why it's important about the stairs. A stair at the beginning, from the entry, and a stair at the end. And when we visited it, it was 10:30 p.m. because we worked, and then it was dark outside. It was in November. It was dark outside, and we visited with the owner's sister, and I stopped in the kitchen and I saw a black rectangle on the floor, and I asked, but there was nothing, just the floor, but I saw a black rectangle, and I asked the lady, so there's something here, what is it? And she told me, no, there's nothing. And then she remembered, oh yes, it was a sailing, but the sailing was condemned and it's impossible to use it anymore. So, okay. So we entered the home, I think a couple of weeks after. And as soon as we were in, we heard strange noises during the night. My husband was really scared about it. And at this time we had a dog and a cat. The dog, no reaction, but the cat, she had big black eyes, and her hair was, she was really unhappy in. And when we were watching the television, we heard steps, heavy steps on the first floor. But when I went, because my husband was really scared and he pushed me in the stairs. When I went, I never saw nothing. And one day, I think it was around 5-6 months we live in this home, my husband had to leave for his job to Paris. So he went to Paris for 2 weeks and I was alone. And he phoned me the first evening and telling me, you're okay? You're not scared about the ghost? Saying, no, I am more scared about human beings than ghosts. So I'm okay. I will see. And this first night, I went to bed. It was early, and it was clear outside because it was in June and it was 9:30 maybe, so still daylight outside. And I was in my bed, and it was a lovely bedroom with like a cathedral. It was really lovely in wood and so on. And I laid on my back, and suddenly I heard the steps from the stairs. But instead of going to the end of the home, they came to my bedroom. Say, oh, I will have a visitor. So I was aware, opened my eyes, and the door was pushed because I closed the door before. The door was pushed, and I saw a ghost. I saw a man, an old man, with wonderful white hair and a big white mustache. And I saw his clothes, and he was not smiling. He was not angry. No expression. He was looking at me, and I was looking at him. And nothing anymore. So the day after, because I'm curious, I phoned the landlord, telling him, what's happened in this home? Could you please tell me a little bit story about this home? And then he told me this was my parents' house, and my mom passed away. She died years ago, and my dad, he passed away. It was, I think, maybe 4 years ago. And the landlord was very close to his dad. And I asked him, okay, and he passed away in the house? Then yes. And so I try to investigate slowly because emotionally it's not, for the landlord, it was not funny. So, and he told me, so I asked him, would you be happy to tell me how he died? And he told me, yes, he fell down. So I said before the ceiling, but it's what, I don't know, a cave? How do you call it in English?
A basement?
A basement. It was not the ceiling, sorry, it was the basement. And his dad fell down the basement, and he died. And this is the reason the landlord condemned the basement. And suddenly I told the landlord, I'm sorry, but I saw your dad last night. And I had no idea of how he will react about it. And silence, and suddenly he asked me, could you please explain me what you saw? So I explained him, and I described the man I saw. And then the landlord told me, do you have time for a cup of tea? Come home, and I will show you photos. And he showed me photos, and it was exactly the man I saw. So, and I have a numerous experience like this. Most of experience with ghosts are good experiences. Some are not good. And as a shaman, I have to deal, this is the shaman job, I have to deal with very dark and strong energies. And I do love it, honestly. I do love it. And this is why it's important to be supported by some spirits, by some ancestors, because they have experience and they can support and guide how to do. But there are not a lot of not funny experience, honestly. But they are really strong, and we need to be able to manage them without being mad. So,
could you maybe speak about an encounter that you've had with a dark entity?
What it is important to know is that spirits are powerful than human beings just because they are not blocked by a physical body. So it means they are powerful. It was in France because I live in France for more than 25 years. And I prefer to talk about my adult experience because when I was a child, I also had not really funny experience, but I don't want to scare people about it. I went in a lovely space, wonderful, with my husband and with maybe I think 3-4 friends. And so it was in nature, absolutely wonderful. And we like to explore. And we explore and we discover abandoned houses and a specific one. And it was open, so we enter to visit it. And of course I saw different things, hanged people, dead body. So because this is just natural for me, it's not always funny, but it's just natural. And in our group there was a friend, a man. He was also sensitive and he was unable to see, but he was able to feel things. And at the moment, he stayed in an old bedroom, and he stayed, and it was an old bed, a wooden bed, completely destroyed. And he stayed, and he was smiling and smiling and smiling. I say, okay, what's happened? So I entered because we were calling him. He didn't answer, and another friend, she told me, Marushka is here, come to have a look, he's not normal. So I entered this bedroom and I felt a very, very strong energy, but not friendly. When I say dark, I mean not friendly. And I felt an energy from a woman, a dead woman, very, very strong. And he stayed like this, smiling, and he was completely fixed and unable to move. Say, okay. I told my friends, go out, and I took him out of the bedroom because it was impossible to act him. Then, when we left this house, he became better a little bit. Say, okay, it's good. So we went back to the camping. But I always observed him because he was with us, but not completely. And when the night came, he became mad. He refused to eat, he refused to drink a glass of water. And we saw his eyes. He had strange behaviors, dangerous behavior, because we had a fire and he wanted to go in the fire and so on. So, okay, I told the others, okay, he's possessed by the spirit and I have to act now because the light will be long for us if I don't act. So we had drums and I asked others to drum, to help me, to support me for the drums. And then, he was possessed by this woman's spirit. And she pushed him to have, to commit suicide. So I told the word. and he want to go in the water, he want to go in the fire, he want to go to the cliff and to commit suicide. And it took until, so it started around 10, I think 10 p.m. until 1 p.m. I worked on this position, and it was not easy, and I was exhausted after. And it was so strong because the spirits, the ancestors, they support us, but they don't do the job for us. They are there just to support us, but they explained me a few times, you know, if you are facing this situation, it means you are able to manage it. If you're not, we'll tell you. And in this case, I did the job, but at the moment I had to push these spirits to a space where invisible of course, where I have no right to go, because if I go in this space, I don't come back. And then the spirits, and I see it as a closed door. This is the vision, I have a closed door. And with my spirits, my supporting team, I went just close to this door with the spirit of this woman, and then when the door opened, they told me, so this is not your job anymore, you have to go back, and we take part of it. So I obeyed, and I really was exhausted, but I remember when the door closed again, the woman left a red rose on my side. And I saw it as a vision, but the ritual was finished, the trance was finished. I say, okay, it was finished. But what is strange is that we were in nature. It was in August, in the south of France. Every herbs were burnt. There were no roses, bushes, nothing. And when I came back, the man, without possession, offered me a rose, a red rose. And I told him, where did you find it? And he told me, it was just there, just close to my feet, and there were no rose bush. So this is, I don't know, some people ask me to explain how I practice. I'd like to share, but I'm unable. I just do things in the moment, and even if it exists some rituals to be in condition to practice, it's always different. I don't know when I heal somebody, I don't know what will happen before.
Have you had any contact with what felt like a powerful, loving energy, an angelic type being, or anything that felt very, very positive?
Yes, but again, the words I could use to describe them are not angels or something angelic. I've got a dragon as an allied spirit, and it's very powerful and is a big protector. And I've got demon. I know people will, they separate, angels are good, demon are bad. And say, no, what is a demon? And people forget, what is a demon? A demon is an angel in a human body. Is an angel incarnated. A demon is a fallen angel. but this is exactly the same. And we talk about angel and demons because we separate the good and the evil. But for shaman, it doesn't exist separation. And if I tell people, I've got a spirit who support me is a demon, people will be scared. Oh, this is a demon and not an angel. But honestly, demons are powerful than angels, in my experience. I've got some ancestor spirits who support me. They are very strong, but it's important to understand in shamanism, we are not in the mind, we are in the body, deeply in the body. It means we don't refuse the incarnation, and we use it, and we love it. So if you want, I talk about a love energy. I'm a little bit, I don't feel comfortable about speaking about love, because a lot of people, they talk about love, and love is sparkling unicorns, and love is light, and love is... No, for me, love is... I suffer sometimes in my life or in my body, but it's always a question of love. When I express some anger, it's always a question of love, because anger is an emotion pushing you to take position and to respect yourself. When somebody pushed me, I'm not happy, I say no. I express my anger, and it's a question of respect of myself. What is important is not to be the toy of the emotions, but emotions are color of the life. And for me, love is not light. For me, love is light and love is dark. There's no separation. And I know it's not easy for everybody to understand it, but it's really important for me telling people, love is not a question to say, I'm happy at any time. If people watching this video have kids, for example, they love their they love the kids, they love their children, but sometimes they have to say, no, you have no right to do it. And this is love. Sometimes they have to punish them. This is love. You are in danger, you cannot do this. This is love. Love is not always say, yes, you're right. Yes, you have the right to do this. Yes, I'm okay. No. Sometimes it's important to say no.
Do you have any plans or aspirations for the future?
I am still learning to accept what is happening. And this year is a very special year for everybody, me included. And no, I have no aspiration. I just live my life. I just accept what's happened. I know some people could say, oh, I wish peace in the world. No, I don't want peace for the world, but I don't want war for the world. I just welcome what is happening without any judgment, trying to understand why it's happened. And of course, human beings have the power to change the world, but everybody must do it in the same time. And some people don't want it changed. So I just accept what is happening, and I don't know in 5 minutes what I will do. So
if anyone who watches this video would like to get in touch with you or learn about the services, the shamanic services that you offer, do you have a website or social media where people can contact you and find out more about you?
I share a website with my partner. The name is vinzigal.com. Vinzigal is the name of 2 runes from the Futhark the old Nordic alphabet, and I also I'm not really social network because I'm a little bit wild, but the main one is Facebook, and it's easy to find me with my name Marushka Mikhailovna Zirolnikova. It's not a common name, so it's easy to find me. And I post some articles and I post all the events also.
That's all of the questions, so thank you very much, Mariska, for
Thank
sharing
you.
your story and telling us about shamanism.
Thank you, and I wish if people are a little bit scared or they ask themselves if they want to know a little bit more, I'm always open to share. So, and I also in my practice, I practice massage. Also, I forget telling. Healing touch massage, magnetism, all those things and rituals, and to welcome the newborn, to support people who passed away, and so on. So, thank you.